my name is Gale, and I head up the ad tech and agency business here at Google Cloud. Basically, I work with customers to build custom marketing solutions in the cloud. And I'm going to build on what Jason and Matt have shared with you about data-driven marketing, or when marketing meets science now. So to level set, Google's cloud consists of the cloud offering, so our compute, our automated big data systems and machine learning technology, our G Suite communications, docs, drives offerings, Maps, Chrome, and Android. Basically, everything that we use to run Google, available to you to run your business, without having to spend $10 billion a year and millions of man-hours programming it. They've all gone through how demanding customers are, and you know yourself. We all want custom messaging, better, faster, and sometimes cheaper things as well. And no longer is it enough to satisfy your customers, you have to delight and inspire them now. Your customers, just like ours, are accustomed to receiving personalized interactions. Here at Google, we're using things like your home location and the place you work to deliver faster Maps routing, or information from your airline to surface information about the delayed flight that may be coming. You don't have to rush to the airport if it's already been delayed. At Google, we have to manage that same issue across a spectrum of consumer touchpoints, delivering customized experiences across multiple products to billions of users within milliseconds. And our cloud offering and machine learning expertise was developed exactly so that we could provide that to our customers. You guys all know it's not about the execution of a landing page, a creative campaign, an immersive event, or anything else. It's about hyper-local, hyper-relevant, proactive engagement at scale. It's the right message to the right person at the right time, and you all have to do it. And big data and analytics have gotten us to this point. And what's driving us into the future now is machine learning. So let's start off with a little bit of a level set on that. So what is machine learning? Machine learning is basically just telling a computer about your goals and having them solve the problems for you. It's giving computers the ability to learn without having to actually build the algorithms. There's 4 places that machine learning is going to radically impact all of our lives in the next couple of years. First, it's going to help us all identify customers, target those customers, approach them in the right way, grow current customers that we have or expand the lifetime value, and then optimize our spend as marketers, both in time and dollars across all of those different channels. So I'm going to start off with an example that we here at Google used machine learning to improve our acquisition of G Suite users from free trials to paid users. Because, as I mentioned before, we built this entire cloud infrastructure so that we could better relate to our customers and get better results from them. As part of Google Cloud, we have 2 main offerings, G Suite and Cloud. And with G Suite, like many software as a service products, we use free trials to get people through the door into paid subscriptions. As you can imagine, we use banners, paid search, and paid social to drive people through to those free subscriptions. And we need to understand which channels are giving us the best ROI to do that. So back in August, we did a rebrand, and we changed our creative style from the more business aspect to a more playful, comical creative that you can see up on the screen. And we needed to understand, how did this impact our customer acquisition funnel? Because, as you can imagine, our senior managers had already set our targets ahead of this rebrand. So we wanted to know, is this style going to resonate and drive the same ROI we had before? Now, when I'm saying resonate here, I mean, am I going to get the same path to conversions? So I've identified the values that I need to optimize for. It's conversions, much like most of you. How many people here use paid media to drive to some sort of positive ROI for their businesses? Everybody. So traditionally, we used to optimize ROI in the following way, and this probably sounds familiar to you guys. We'd launch a digital integrated campaign testing a mix of channels. Then we'd wait for a statistically significant amount of data to come in, how many paid users have we gotten, to start to figure out which channels were driving the right ROI. Then we'd analyze the data and push that information back into our channel mix modeling and reshuffle our resource allocation. Then we'd run the entire process again. Because it took 30 days to go from free trial to paid subscription and some time to plan and analyze, this entire process took 45 days for us. So if you think about the level of targeting that I just talked about, we were only able to get down to the channel level, which is not at the more detailed campaign level, which is where you want to be. And as a result, I was forced to make really sweeping assumptions about what was working and what wasn't. And we weren't able to make decisions about whether a given profile was the type we wanted to go after and what the likelihood of conversion was. So we had a big business challenge. How do we get the highest value leads in the G Suite free trial door, but we lacked the sophistication in being able to analyze the data and make some optimizations? So how do we solve that? In comes big data analytics and machine learning. And we were able to reduce testing cycles from 6 weeks to 2 days. But more importantly, we got smarter about our decision makings and were much less wasteful of money. So we got higher ROI, which is what we were all going for. So how did we do that? First, we compiled every piece of data that we could find. Signals from DoubleClick, Google Analytics, internal data, scoring of the types of accounts we were going after, and a whole bunch more. And we used all of that to create models. We trained the model to understand which of those signals was driving towards paid conversions. Then we ran the campaign, collecting all of those signals from all the campaigns we were running. And 2 days after we ran those campaigns, we were able to see which of the channels and campaigns were likely to drive the highest ROI. That enabled us to pull budget away from the markets and information where they weren't performing to the places that were the best. So as I mentioned before, this helped us identify customers, target and approach those customers in a much more granular way, and grow the customers we already had, actually remarket to ones who had some of our G Suite applications. So as I mentioned, that's how we've done it at Google Cloud. These resources were built to drive our business. But I'm going to share with you how I've been working with some of your colleagues in the marketing space to build their own custom solutions with marketing. I'm sure everybody in this room is familiar with Ocado. They get an order every 2.5 seconds to the world's largest online-only grocer. And they've spent the last decade applying data science and artificial intelligence to personalize their customer-facing apps, the way they operate their internal resources, deliveries, humans, everything. So they were wondering, can they apply this same type of technology to the way they deal with all of their inbound emails to their call center? They get everything that you think of, things like asking for a refund, feedback, adding new products. And they've spent the last couple of years tagging all of those emails, so they understand whether an email is feedback and the customer is happy and they need to actually do anything. And they can automate that process with natural language processing as well to understand the sentiment of those emails. So they built a solution and implemented it, and very quickly found that they were able to respond to upset emails 4 times faster. And it saved them £10,000 a month in expenses in dealing with management of these emails, because 5 to 10% of their emails didn't need a response. It was people replying back to them that they were happy with their services, which gave them a 10,000% ROI. That's pretty good. But that wasn't actually the biggest impact to their business, because ultimately they found that when they were able to understand those emails, they were able to react much, much faster to canceled orders and reroute their vans to not go to places where they didn't need to be anymore. They were able to capture trends of returned items and save millions of pounds within their fulfillment centers because they would route people to other products that didn't have the same customer service issues. And that all led to happier customer service employees because they were managing only specific triaged issues that they needed to touch, which gave better customer service KPI scores. The next place that they're looking, if you can look in the top left, you see a carton of eggs. And unfortunately, this one seems to be packed on its side. That's generally leading to broken eggs. So by applying the Vision API, they're going to be rerouting these deliveries before they even leave the distribution center. So they don't have to ever get an upset email because they can just repack the bag before it even goes out. Another example of a customer we work with is MultiChoice. They're the largest pay TV provider in Africa with 8.5 million paid customers. You guys might be familiar with the concept of having a lot of different data sets across all of your customers. They had 35 different data sets, both internal and external, across all of their customers. And the marketing team wanted to bring them together to better understand how they could interact with their customers. The CEO was a little bit reticent to approve this project because he thought it would take about 2 years to get any results and cost lots and lots of money. The marketing director didn't have any technical resources, but she ended up working with one of our partners to build a proof of concept within 1 month with 3 data sources and an actual full working product within 4 months of all 35 data sets. So what did they do with that? The first and most important thing is they were actually able to understand their customers. They went from the point where their customer was the person on the bill to their person was everybody in the household. And they understood the individual viewing habits of each of those customers, whether they were watching on their tablet, their computer, the TV itself, and they got to separate out who was watching what and how they consumed their products. So when Netflix came to town and started poaching off some of their highest value long-term customers, they were able to figure out why those customers were leaving. I don't know if you guys suffer from this, but paying for 2,000 channels and watching maybe 12. And they built custom packages to proactively reach out to the same types of lookalike customers that might be lost, totally stopping that loss of customers to Netflix. As well, they were able to build a new content marketing program to compete directly with Netflix. And all of that took zero data maintenance on their part because they were building it in the cloud and they had a partner to execute all of these campaigns. The last example I'm going to give you today is Zulily. They're a large online retailer in the western part of the United States that has a catalog of 1 million products, but they only display 9 on the front page. Every visitor gets a customized experience. It used to be that they had vertical leads that would build custom experiences based on what they knew about those users. So they would have housewives or single mom or whatever it is that you know that you have as your customers. And they would build those experiences to serve what they thought would convert the best. Now, they use a machine learning model that brings together ads data, clickstream data, information from CRM, and they actually deliver a customized experience to every single user that comes to their website. Even the same product could have different images depending on who you are. And that implementation of machine learning on their site led to a 7-figure return to them in annual revenue. But more importantly, from them, they said, this platform is allowing them to take questions they couldn't answer to the point where they can answer them now. And analysis that used to take weeks and months now takes seconds and milliseconds. As brands, we all need to be ready to assist. We know that. As assistance becomes the new normal, prospects are going to choose brands that are in step with their needs. Businesses are going to win or lose on their ability to predict those needs and delight their customers better than their competitors. Big data and machine learning and cloud technology can help you at every point in this process. But it's not going to do everything. Unfortunately, is machine learning the holy grail for marketing? Sorry. We're still going to need some marketing to go with that science. But hopefully, the examples that I've given have given you inspiration to think about the possibilities. I'd say collectively, we're probably operating at about a kindergarten level with regards to some of this stuff, with the opportunity to go to a PhD. But it's not going to come instantly. It's going to take some time with experimentation and experience with solutions for many different businesses in many different verticals. I get excited about the amazing stories that I've seen from so many of you, direct companies, and I'm looking forward to building some new solutions with you. Here at Google, we're working hard to enable marketers to leverage their data in much better ways, with less complexity. We've launched machine learning APIs for vision, speech, video, translation, and more to give you the power of machine learning without having to put the work in with training the models. We've built connectors to your Google data for DoubleClick, Google Analytics, AdWords, so that you can start to work with those with our big data tools. And we have a marketing analytics starter package to help you bring in other data sets to build unified data warehouses. You can lean on all of these machine learning models that we've already built for vision, speech, translation, so that you can build systems that automatically understand in the way that people understand. I hope this has been educational and inspired you to look deeper at what's possible. If you have any questions or want to get started, we have some people available at the booth to talk to you. Rahul's right there. Wave, Rahul. Pink shirt. Or you can email me at chrisgale@google.com. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Stay. You're not getting off so easily because it certainly has been educational. There are a number of questions from the audience. Perhaps we can see them on the screen. We'll start with Hamish. Hamish, wherever you are, Hamish has asked a couple of questions. How can I start using machine learning to optimize my marketing now? I don't work for a tech-savvy company. Is it possible?
Totally. So, I mentioned earlier multi-choice. Multi-choice has a lot of tech people, but the marketing department had 0. and they worked with one of our partners to develop their unified data warehouse. The partner brought in some machine learning expertise and was able to help them understand their users in a way they never could before. So they were using all sorts of information about the names to iterate out what languages they likely spoke and figure out how they can target those people even without home billboards. So I can introduce you to somebody, or Rahul can as well.
Excellent, that's what we like, personalized service, thank you. Another one from Hamish, presumably the same person. My company's data is really messy, and I reckon this is an issue most companies probably have.
Yes.
Could we still use cloud technology to optimize our marketing?
Yes. So I'm going to let you in on a little secret. 95% of machine learning is data engineering. You have to clean up your data before you can feed it into a system to understand it. We've got a lot of automated tools to help you do that, but you're still going to need a little bit of technical skill to enable that. Again, we have partners, but we also have some easier ways to do it with some visual tools that will help you with data transform, data cleanup, and data loading.
Amazing, thank you. And James B. asks, PPC typically is measured by how many sales it's driven, but it's hard to establish the impact on brand health. Thoughts?
So, I mean, everything is pretty often measured by the impact on sales, and it's usually a last-click model. Mostly what we're trying to engage with advertisers is to try and build new attributions. All of the paid management tools that you're using, paid search, RTB, are generally machine-learned models. You guys are all doing it already. Nice job. But they're working with the data that they have available to them. They become much more powerful when you bring in information from your CRM system or every other touch point you guys have. So that's how I would suggest you approach that problem.
Okay, one last question. We'd like to use Google tools to optimize on-site conversions, but we're not able to fully track social in the Google suite. Any suggestions?
This is not unique to social. You also can't track out of home. You can't track a bunch of other touch points you have. That model that I mentioned with multi-choice, I'll go there again, they had everything from Twitter to Facebook to out-of-door advertising. Some of it you can do on a one-to-one basis. Some of it you have to do in probabilistic modeling. You can do all of those things. You're not going to know one for one, I saw a billboard and this was the impact, but you can start to model it, and that's the value of cloud machine learning.
Great stuff. Thank you so much to Chris.
Thanks.